Hey stars, it's me, Shar the Star, and I'm back. Listen, I hope you guys are having a great work week, vacation week, whatever the week is for you. I hope you're enjoying it, right? Okay, right now, honestly, no tea. I'm actually drinking some fruit water, like have the water with pieces of fruit in it and things like that. Just something refreshing, just something cool. Nothing hot right now, right? Okay, so listen, I did a video, right? I did a video. This is weeks ago, maybe last month or the month before, who knows? Um, if you don't know, I am up to like 75 or 76 videos. I've been doing YouTube now for 10 months. I have like 76 videos. Um, my viewership is definitely working and rising. And again, I want to thank you guys for all your support, those that support me, and even those that pretend to support me but don't. Thank you too. You just put fuel to the fire actually for me. Now, I said to you guys before that, we were talking about the tariffs, right? And nobody wants to talk about the tariffs because we know that the supermarket, the food is super expensive in the supermarket now, right? With everything. Everything is rising. Well, I got my first example of how the tariffs affect my particular household just today. Now, we took our cars in to be serviced, right? And when you take your cars in to be serviced, they're always going to find something that they need to upcharge you about, right? So in my car, I need a sensor. One of my sensors is bad for my tire gauging as far as air in my tires. It tells you what tire is low or whatever. So that thing is going bad, right? The sensor. So I took it in. Now, normally, this sensor I had checked before. I had checked with someone like just yesterday. They said, well, they said it's a funny time now as far as parts for foreign cars. And we do have foreign cars. Now, but I don't honestly understand if you drive an American car, what the difference would be either. Because I think still we don't really make anything here. So it's still coming from overseas, right? Okay. So with this sensor, so I take it to the dealership this morning, and I'm all ready. This sensor originally would cost about between 150 $180. Okay, total. That's just the sensor. Then you have to pay, of course, the dealership to put it in. Okay, so you might be talking about maybe a 350 because it's not even an hour job. It's not even a half an hour job actually, but they will stretch it for the hour to get that hour rate. You know what I mean? So you speak it maybe. Yeah, the whole thing should be like maybe $300 or a little more. Baby, when that man looked in me in my face and said without a crack in a smile that the sensor is now, because of the tariffs, is now the price has exploded to $520. So something that normally would cost us under 200 is now 520. Um, hmm. And my thing was, when I was telling the stories about the tariffs, right? People were like, oh, the tariffs are not really going to affect me or us. Yes, it is. We don't produce anything. I keep telling you. And with this man in office, with these tariffs and things like that. And the weird thing is, guess what? It's affecting people across the board because I spoke to the mechanic who would be working on my car, right, to put this sensor on. And he said, I voted for Trump. And I was a little surprised because he was actually African American, but he says that he owns his own business outside of that, right? And he said most business owners voted for Trump, no matter the color, because of the tax breaks and the things like that. But he said he never expected it to hit the automotive business the way it is. And I'm like, why? Why not? You working at a foreign automobile business, which means our parts are not here. They're being brought from somewhere else. And he said that it's ruining the business because people are not fixing their car. If the part isn't important to them. Like me, I cannot drive with any lights on my dashboard and stuff like that, right? So a person like me, I need to get that fixed because when you don't get something fixed, it turns over. The next thing you know, you got two or three other issues. And with these tariffs, it's unreachable. But for a part to go from $150, anywhere between 150 and 180, $520 is ridiculous. It, I can't even tell you. We talking about how is it going to affect us? Have you been in the supermarket lately? You spend maybe $120. You come out with two bags, and it may not be everything that you needed, but it's what you what. Well, it may not be everything that you wanted, but it's definitely just what you needed. You know what I mean? Um, you can make a couple of those trips to the supermarket a week, 2 or 3 times a week, and spend $100 each time. Um, but now people is like, oh, well, how is it? This is how it's going to affect you. You better hope and pray that I definitely going to say, if you're driving a foreign car and keep it tip top, stop abusing your car. I'm telling you, because when it comes down to you replacing something or fixing a part or these sensors that these cars, everything is a sensor, it's going to be problems. Problems. Just ridiculous. Okay, so again, I love you guys. I just want to let you know that this is how now something as simple as taking your car in for maintenance, because of parts and because of things, everything is loaded. For a part to be $180 tops and turn around to be 520, I can't even explain that. I don't even know what to say about something like that. It's ridiculous. And to find out from a African American, now you can vote for whomever you want, but you vote for him because you feel you have a business and he's originally a businessman and the tax breaks and this, that, and the other. But yeah, what about it? What about it? He's turning everything else upside down. Okay, so even if he gives you a good tax break, you're spending that money that you think you're getting on other things. You're not saving, you're not getting ahead. Well, listen, I just wanted to tell you that. Listen, I don't know if you guys heard about this story, right? Okay, get into this one where this, yeah, what can I say? Okay, let's go here. I feel really good today. The weather is really nice. It poured down raining this morning, but the sun did finally come out, and it looks good. Okay, so this is where we're starting at. Grandson admits to beating his grandmother with a hammer and then stole her car. Yeah. Well, let's get into it. The grandmother was 58 years old, right? And I mean, grandmothers are younger and younger now because people are having kids younger and younger. It's not just now, it was then before, but I just remember um, our grandmothers were grandmothers in the 60s and 70s and on and on. These parents are grandparents at 50 or grandparents at 45. So, you know, it's different. Nevertheless, um, what can I tell you? Okay, so this story happened in Memphis, Tennessee. Carrion Dates. He's 23 years old. Like I said, from Memphis, Tennessee, has admitted to beating his grandmother and unaliving her with a hammer after he was found in her stolen car. Right. So it says a Tennessee man admits to beating his grandmother with a hammer after he was found in her stolen car. Carrion Dates, 23-year-old of Memphis, was arrested on last Thursday in Jackson, more than an hour drive northeast of his hometown, in connection to the unaliving of his grandmother, Sonia Dates, 58 years old, according to the local reports, right? So apparently, his mother states that he's been living with the grandmother for for some time now, for whatever reason. I don't know if she couldn't control him or couldn't handle him and sent him to the grandmother. But again, I'm looking. He's 23 years old. He's not a little kid. He's not a teenager. He's an adult that could be living on his own. However, he's living with his grandmother, and the mother and a neighbor that friends to the grandmother stated that they realized something has started to be weird as of last week. the week before it happened. I don't know. And they said that the boy, carry on dates, had been coming in and out of the house, and the grandmother works. And getting to it, her being 58, she drives a Camaro, a 2020 Camaro, which is a really nice sports car, especially for a grandmother. I'm like, wow. But again, we're thinking 58, not so old, right? Okay. So what Carry On did, apparently, he waited for his grandmother to come home from work one evening, and he started to beat her with a hammer, unaliving her, then taking her car keys and taking her car. Um, he was eventually pulled over, like I said, and the police asked him at some point, "Do you know why we're pulling you over?" And I believe he said something like, "Yeah, I hit my grandma Sonia with a hammer, and I think I unalived her." So, of course, he's now being arrested. He's been arrested. His mother is stating that she had told her mom about a week before this happened that she should put him out. She said, "Put him out for your own safety." So apparently, the mom allegedly may have had some issues with him or with his temperament, and she told the mother to put him out for her safety, and she didn't listen. When they found the grandmother, she had her backpack on, and she still had bags wrapped around her hand. So apparently, what that mean? Allegedly, he attacked her as soon as she walked through the door of her house. She was not even able to put bags down or to take her knapsack off. That's how they found her. So you know what? I don't, I don't even know what to say about this young generation. I really don't know what to say about this young generation because you very seldomly ever heard anything like this from our generation to our parents and to our grandparents and stuff like that. If anything, you heard something about the parents doing something to the child, but you never really, every now and again, but a grandparent. Okay, so did you guys also hear about the 81-year-old woman who pepper sprayed a mom and two children, a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old? Did you hear about this? Okay, well, hmm, here we go. 81-year-old accused of pepper spraying neighbor's kids, aged 3 and 6, over bubbles. Over bubbles, the things that the kids have, and you pull it out and you blow in it and you blow bubbles all over. Well, the mom stated that her and her two kids were in their yard, far away from the gate that separates her from her neighbor, which is this 81-year-old woman, right? This happened in Florida, and they were blowing bubbles, and apparently I don't know, because they said they were far from the gate, so I don't even know if bubbles actually went over her gate. But apparently, allegedly, the mom had been having problems with this neighbor since they moved in. They haven't been living there that long, but she yelled at them and yelled over the gate, "You are not wanted in this neighborhood," and those different types. Now, again, this is a 3-year-old and this is a 6-year-old. And mind you, she's 81. Okay. So let's get into the story a little bit. An 81-year-old Florida woman was arrested. Give me 1 second. Was arrested last week after allegedly pepper spraying her neighbors, including two young girls, age 3 and age 6. Ada Anderson was arrested after police say she pepper sprayed her neighbors, April Monront and her two daughters. Monront said her children were pepper sprayed over their use of bubbles. Bubbles, literally, just bubbles. Bubbles, nothing else. Put Miss Anderson in a whole other arena. Whatever was going on in her mind, this woman lost it over bubbles. But I personally don't think that it had anything to do with bubbles. Apparently, allegedly, from what's being stated, is that she's been, get away from here. Your kind is not wanted here. We don't want you in our neighborhood. That type of thing. She's has been yelling these racial slurs at their home and over the fence and things like that. So Marmont said that the mother, Monrant, said that her daughters were playing with bubbles in their yard, well away from the fence that separates their properties, when Anderson allegedly yelled racial slurs and leaned over the fence holding something dark in her hand. What went through my head as I thought it was a gun at first. So I literally kind of jumped. I was startled. I didn't know what was in her hands. And then she sprayed it. And it says, according to, um, excuse me, people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, apparently, according to the police report, Anderson pepper sprayed the woman and her two young daughters. And her and her two daughters had to run inside and get bottles of water to help extinguish the burning sensation in their face and eyes. I don't think this had anything to do with bubbles. It's nice that they're saying, "Oh, the bubbles sent her over the edge." No, her allegedly being a racist is what pushed her over the edge. And you over there laughing and playing and having fun and not being in distress didn't fare well with her. Period. Marmont, the mom, said that she's had problems with Anderson ever since they moved into the neighborhood with the family back in last November. So they've been there since November. So they've been there, what, 8 months now? So, but she said the issue has been getting worse. I feel like she's escalating. Marmont said on multiple occasions that Anderson had hurled inserts and racial slurs at them when they're coming or going from their house since day one. And they have recordings of her doing this. So, okay, and keep this in mind. They have recordings of her slurring racial slurs at them. And this started from when they moved in on the first day back last year in November, right? The videos they have reportedly shows Anderson saying things like, "You're not welcome in this neighborhood," and hurling racial slurs at the entire family, mother, father, and two kids. Okay, for the pepper spraying incident, Anderson is now facing battery charges on several counts. Keep that in mind. Barnard was hoping Anderson would also be charged with a hate crime because while she's doing what she's doing, she's slurring racial slurs and saying you're not welcome in this neighborhood, which is a crime. But they're just charging her with several counts of battery because she sprayed it on the mother and the two juveniles, their kids, right? Um, they're saying that a hate crime. They said just battery is what the mom said, but nothing on the kids. Or maybe a hate crime because you were saying all this stuff while you were spraying the spray. So it's definitely connected. So why this 80-year-old woman isn't being charged with a hate crime and just several counts um, of battery? I don't understand that. I think that needs to be looked into more because allegedly they have this woman on video, numerous videos, not just one, two, or three, because this woman been doing this to them since they started. Couldn't be me though. And I'm not saying go violent and do things, but you can't ignore things like this. You have to constantly get things like this on the record. So when you do lose your mind, they understand why you lost your mind. You feel me? Always a paper trail. That's just what it is. So from the videos of it, I don't know if they did or didn't, but I would have been creating a paper trail since November. So therefore, when I really lost it, they would know why I lost it. So yeah, yeah, 81, 81. Well, are you aware that your president, Mr. Trump, is now, well, he calls himself echoing the notorious Black Lives Matter quote, right? When it came to this LA and anti-ICE demonstrations that's going on now in LA, right? Your president states, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Trump echoes notorious Black Lives Matter quote over LA anti-ICE demonstrations. So your president is stating, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Well, Again, I don't think he has an original brain, an original thought in his brain. And honestly, I'm hearing the news report that this is the notorious Black Lives Matter quote, right? Okay. So when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Well, I got surprise, surprise. Okay. Because guess what? This quote isn't only from Black Lives Matter. Okay. Just so that you know, let me give you a little history. Um, Back in 1967, when the looting starts, the shooting starts is a phrase originally used by Walter E. Headley. That was the police chief of Miami, Florida, in response of an outbreak of violent crimes during the 1967 Christmas holiday season. He accused young hoodlums from 15 to 21 of taking advantage of the civil rights campaign that was sweeping the nation at that time. So, again, don't try to blame this and say, oh, it originally came from the Black Lives Matter. Won't you say where it originally came from? Won't you say it actually was a quote from 1967, Miami, Florida police chief. Okay? So just so that you know, you always want to say, oh, no, it didn't start there. It didn't start there. Let's be clear. But what is the reason? First of all, I didn't really get too much into this LA anti-ICE demonstration because, again, I do think it's important. But I also said earlier in the year when we realized that President Trump was taking office that we didn't vote for Mr. Trump. We didn't vote for Mr. Trump like that. And it saddens me to hear now, like I said from my issue at the BMW dealer this morning, that um I'm being told that most business owners, it didn't matter what color they were, they voted for Mr. Trump because originally he's a businessman and they felt that they were going to get these tax breaks and different things. But now look. So again, I found it weird that our own president will call in reinforcement to combat demonstrators against the anti-ICE thing that's going on. Um, Listen, you guys did what you did. You got what you got. You're getting what you asked for. This man didn't lie in this point. He told you what he was going to do with the tariffs and this, that, and the third. He's been trying to build a wall since his last administration. So let's forget. What did you think he was just going to forget about all of that? I mean, we don't hear anything about the wall because he said later for the wall. I'm just going to start deporting y'all back to your countries later for the wall. Because you ain't heard nothing about the wall right now, to be really, really honest. Okay, so with all that being said, for our president to say when the looting starts, the shooting starts, sir, you are supposed to be our commander in chief. You are supposed to be helping the situation, not sending the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines in against your own people because they're demonstrating against something that they don't like and they don't agree with you on. Right? So now look at okay, but just talk about the ICE demonstrations that's going on. So many industries, you guys, again stated, oh, I don't, he's gonna do these tax breaks and stuff. People that own businesses, that own construction company, do you understand that the construction company sector is losing so much money because they don't have any workers? You have scared all the workers away if they were legal or not. You scared them away. Who wants to go through that? People are leaving the job today and never returning. Can you imagine your whole entire construction team hears that there's going to be an ICE raid somewhere going on in New Jersey or wherever, right? Allegedly, and they leave and never come back. Your whole team. That's like starting from scratch, starting your business from scratch. Now you have to hire all new people. And guess, let's be completely honest. It's not going to be easy. This thing is just causing destruction across all sectors of employment and everything. Yeah. So let's see. I have video, but I don't even want to show the video. You guys know it says U.S. clashes between federal agents and ICE protesters in Paramount, California, right? And we've seen the videos, and it's nothing good. It's nothing good. Um, Now you know that Trump has been fighting with Mr. Musk, Elon Musk, right? So the girls been going at it. They've been going back and forth. And Trump warns of serious consequences if Elon Musk funds Democrats. And the thought of it is interesting. The thought of it is interesting, but I find it weird that he's thinking about Elon Musk putting all his millions that he put behind Mr. Trump um, behind um, the Democrats. It says President Donald Trump warned on Saturday that there will be serious consequences for Elon Musk if he were to fund Democratic candidates. The president made the remark during a phone interview with NBC News. If he does, he'll have to pay the consequences for that, Trump told the new NBC News. However, according to the outlet, Trump did not detail what the consequences would be or could be. So that's interesting. Like, what are the consequences? What are you going to do? He is one of the richest men in the world. So we're going to be clear on that part of it. All right. Um, it's funny because during the timeline of the relationship of Mr. Trump and Mr. Musk, um, and with this week's last week's fallout of their friendship, and I don't know how many actually believe that this is real. Really, because I've actually heard in the past few days that people said that they believe that it's something. Okay, guess what? Well, those of you that's thinking it are not the only ones thinking it, right? Because apparently Whoopi Goldberg, Whoopi, um, she's on The View, and she apparently stated, on The View, Whoopi Goldberg shocks The View into silence by claiming Trump and Musk feud is fake. I don't believe anything they say anymore. And that's interesting because people are saying that they don't believe that this is real. Um, um, Whoopi Goldberg brought The View to a standstill on Monday, June 9th, after she admitted that she believed President Trump's public spat with Elon Musk was entirely fake. And, she she's not falling for it, and apparently she's not the only one. She said just because they're taking shots at each other on social media, um, she believes that it's not real, and that is something that they're. Give me 1 second, people. She's believing that is a distraction. Um, She said that I just feel like, oh yeah, now suddenly everybody's upset about stuff. I'm sorry. No, this is another distraction to keep us talking, not about the stuff we're talking about, but the stuff they want us to talk about. Goldberg maintained they lie. They lie all the time. And I mean, I can't be absolutely against anything that she states because it's the truth. And it being a distraction, not so far fetched. Because my thing is, the only thing that made me think, like I said before, that it wasn't a distraction, that it may be something real with it. Now, I've read different parts, and Trump has said, Mr. Trump has said, because I'm always going to be respectful. See, a lot of times I'm not that person, but I can be disrespectful when I need to be. But at this point, we know who he was. It's not like whoosh, and all of a sudden this new man appeared that we had never seen before. We know who he is. We are. Wow. We know who he is. Um, and again, it's not like this hasn't, it being a distraction is very much possibility. The only, like I said, the only thing that I thought that it wasn't a distraction when Elon Musk brought up Mr. Trump being I'm sorry, in those, I can't remember the paperwork with the man at the time. It's just ridiculous. It just wears me out. But nevertheless, I thought that was something that Trump would not want us to be thinking about. You know, um, I don't know if I agree or disagree with Whoopi. It's a great chance that she's absolutely correct. It's not something that we haven't seen before. Um, I don't know, but like I said, I've been reading up on things, getting these stories together, and Trump is saying that he has no, um, he doesn't want to become friends with Elon Musk again, and Elon Musk, has actually he stated that well, people were take that back. Allegedly, people, since they're not getting along, supposedly not getting along now, people are coming at Elon asking him, all right, so since you're no longer friends, which he's not going to entrap himself, entrapment, but people are asking, so can you tell us really what happened with the election and how you helped him with the election other than donating money? Like, what did you do behind the scenes? Because something was done, is allegedly is what's being said to him. But of course, he's not going to incriminate himself on that. That's just completely stupid. However, they're going at it like two little girls, and it's cute, and they're not friends, and um, well, okay, well, y'all remember Robert F. Kennedy Jr., right? And they had he was appointed health secretary by Mr. Trump after having no history or experience in any health field. Allegedly, and I'm going to say allegedly, Robert F. Kennedy, if I'm not mistaken, allegedly has been a drug abuser for a very long time. And if you try to listen to him, I I can't even mark what he sounds like because it sounds like like he has no voice. It's weird. And for this man, his own family said, please don't put him in this position as health secretary because this is the same man, and I'm going to say allegedly, but it's not allegedly, that believes that African American people and Caucasian people should have different vaccines. What are you talking about, sir? We're all human. We all have the same issues, or some of them. But yeah, this is the same man that believed that we should have separate vaccines. Um, what he did was he fired the entire CDC vaccine advisory panel. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. outed all 17 members of a panel that advises the CDC on the safety and clinical needs of vaccines. So, when we were going through the pandemic, this was a group of medical specialists that get together and they try to figure out what's best for whatever, good or bad or indifferent, whatever. They're more qualified than him as being the health secretary. Are you kidding me? Um, yeah, he fired them all. So right now we have no one advising the CDC on anything medical at this point, such as clinical needs of vaccines, just different things. We have no one now. So we're in trouble, people. We know you underestimated all of this and you guys wanted these tax breaks and stuff. And which I mean, you gonna get your tax breaks, but you might not have a business or a home when it's all said and done. I don't know what to tell you guys. Um, we're in trouble. We now, because remember, we're going into the summer months and then we're going back into our flu months and COVID. And we allowed this to happen, people. I'm just going to be plain. Like we could sit there and act and hide our heads in the sand and act like we don't care. And it's all fun. It's all fun and games to say because we don't want to face the reality of the stupidity of some of the people in this country. We don't want to face the reality of it. All for all the reasons. And for me, I can't get over it. For me to hear a black mechanic state that because he has a business outside of that, he voted. He said most business people voted. And I understand, I believe him. But you were willing to sell your soul, your daughter's soul, your wife's soul, every female that you loved in your life for a tax break or some tax breaks? You were willing to have your wife, your mother, your daughters, your nieces' rights taken away from them where they have no control over what they do with their body for some tax breaks. It makes me question now, you stupid or nah? Like, really? For tax breaks? And it was actually told to be today. Like we thought that he was going to do, really good things with business. Okay, fine. Even if that was true, you were willing to sell out your mom, your sisters, your aunties, your nieces, your daughters, your granddaughters for a tax break. Think about that. Think about that. Okay, so now, constantly I'm always updating you about things at the airport and different, you know, things that go on at the airport, right? And there was actually a story I wanted to run today, but you know what? I'm going to run it tomorrow. Well, anyway, I'm going to tell you about two plane crashes that you may or may not have heard of. These are private planes, there is, but we're showing you now that it's not just private planes are usually for the rich, right? Now that their planes and helicopters are falling out the skies for whatever reason and things are happening, what are you going to do? This is not just happening for airlines and the general public that flies on these planes. We're talking private now. Private planes are now just falling out the skies. Private helicopters. So this is going across the board with this aviation issues. Um, on May 22nd, 2025, not long ago, a Cessna Citation 2 crashed in the Murphy Canyon neighborhood of San Diego, California, right? Unaliving all six people aboard the aircraft and injuring at least eight others on the ground. 10 homes were damaged in the crash, one of which was completely destroyed. That's one. I don't know if you heard about that, but yeah. So it's not only the unaliving the six people on board, but it injured at least eight people on the ground and damaged 10 homes. And one of those homes are completely destroyed. They can't even do anything with it. Okay. Now, the next one, it is something about this six. That was six people that perished in that particular crash. And this one says six unalived after plane crashes into Pacific Ocean. And this was yesterday. So this wasn't back last month. This is yesterday. Six people have been unalived after a small private plane crashed into the Pacific Ocean. The seven-seater Cessna 414 crashed 5 miles west of Point Loomis off of San Diego again. Okay? And the last one was San Diego too. That's the one that crashed and hit the homes. This one went straight into the ocean. This happened around 12:50 on yesterday, 12:50 p.m. So in the afternoon, it says the plane took off from San Diego International Airport and was just 6 minutes into its flight to Phoenix, Arizona, when the crash happened. 6 minutes into the flight. The cause of the crash is being investigated by the transportation officials, of course. The pilot struggled to maintain altitude before falling 1,900 feet in 13 seconds, according to the Aviation Security Network. So they didn't even have a chance. They took off and they was in the air for 6 minutes and dropped 1,900 feet in 13 seconds. Um, Listen, I'm telling you, something has to be done. And I'm telling you, maybe something might start to happen more now because it's happening to the wealthy. Um, but something definitely has to be done. This is come on, this has been happening since the beginning of the year. We are now in June. We are in the 6th month. We're halfway through the year. This has been happening nonstop. Just thought you wanted to know. Well, we've been talking about Wendy Williams. We haven't been talking about her lately, but she was trying to get out of her little issues that she not little issues, I'm sorry, because I'm not going to even say that it's something like that, but that she's trying to get her life back in order. Well, Wendy Williams' ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, like I said, ex-husband of TV icon Wendy Williams is reportedly set to break his silence in a televised interview with Gayle King. Okay? The interview will explore the fallout from his marriage to Williams, his public disgrace, and ongoing legal battles. So, I mean, I guess things are as bad as they say. So now Kevin is ready. He's like, I'm not going to get this money from any place else. So let me do an interview with Gayle King. I'm kind of surprised. First off, I don't even know if I'll be tuning into this interview. And I'll say that because what about this we don't know? We know allegedly he had been cheating on Wendy for years with another woman allegedly. He brought her a house less than 5 miles away from the house he shares with his wife. She was apparently driving his cars, which is actually Wendy's cars, the Maseratis and the Lamborghinis and those type of things. He's actually opened up 2 to 3 failed businesses for this young lady that he had been seeing and now has a child with. These are all the things we know. We already know this. What are Kevin, what exactly are you going to say in this interview that we haven't heard? What? I'll wait. I'll wait. Nothing yet? Girl, we are over it. Y'all are beating a dead horse. I really can't believe that Gayle King is actually going to do this interview. Why? Why? For what reason? We don't care. And we know everything we need to know about it. You want to have an interview? Get an interview with Wendy, who's recovering and doing way better than they made us to believe. They had us at one point allegedly thinking that she was knocking on heaven's door and she was completely out of her mind. Like girl, girl. A Kevin Hunter? A interview with Kevin Hunter. That's what you're coming with. Listen, I'm gonna start getting real verbal about things because and I mean, it's not that I'm not, but it's just that when you're building a page and you're building a community and you're building subscribers and viewers, you don't want to step on too many toes. You want to be likable. You want to be neutral. And I told one of my friends, I remember when news reporters used to be neutral. When back in the day of me watching news with my grandparents, they were neutral. They didn't tell you one way or another. They weren't even allowed, I believe, allegedly, to wear labels. Like now, you turn on the news, turn on Channel 5 News or Channel 7 News or Channel 4 News or Channel 2 News. These news anchors are telling you what they think. They're telling you who they voted for. They're telling you who they don't like. They giving their opinion when they should be neutral. Just give me the news and let me make a decision. I don't need to know what you think. You are supposed to be a neutral party. But now they got big Gucci belts and they wearing Cartier frames and they're wearing Gucci and Louis Vuitton ties. I'm like, what is going on? We used to didn't know what kind of clothes you wore. We didn't know if they was from Sears, J.C. Penney's, or Macy's. We didn't know. So that's a no. I'm not watching I'm not watching any video, any interview with Kevin Hunter talking about what? Telling us something that we don't know what. What? He mad he didn't take enough money or take more money? Allegedly? Okay, we're gonna move on. Did you guys know that there's a cargo ship, right? Named Morning Midas. That's the name of this cargo ship. And this cargo ship is carrying around 3,000 vehicles, including 800 electric vehicles. Well, um, this cargo ship, okay, it's a 600-foot cargo ship, was on a voyage from China to Mexico when a fire erupted approximately 300 miles of Alaska, right? The fire was first reported around midnight, with the smoke rising from the deck loaded with electric vehicles. Despite the crew's effort to control the blaze using onboard firefighting systems, they are unable to extinguish the fires. So what did they do? They abandoned the whole ship. The ship is now floating um, in the ocean with 3,000 vehicles, and 800 of those vehicles are electric vehicles. But because the fire got so out of hand, and of course, electric means batteries and things, which would possibly mean allegedly explosions and allegedly unalivings and things of those sorts. They were a 20 to 22 crew member rescued. They left the ship in lifeboats, and they have been now rescued. So they had to abandon the entire they had the cargo vessel. They had to abandon it. Um, hmm, that's interesting. I think the crew was a matter of what was the crew? Was the crew a matter of 20? I'm sorry, guys. I think it was a 22 to 23 person crew on this cargo ship. Like I said, 3,000 new vehicles. 800 of those vehicles are electric vehicles, and because they couldn't control the fire on the ship, they had to abandon ship. Now this ship is floating. I don't know if they anchored it and it's just sitting where it is and waiting for it to do whatever it does. Because eventually the cars are going to explode. Once the fire hits the batteries, eventually they're going to explode. Um, and also the other cars. So what it was 3,000 cars all, and the 800 is so the other 2,200 cars are, I would assume, gas cars, which had to be driven there. So they have some type of gasoline in them. So yeah, this is listen. I don't know. Listen, guys, I love you guys. I want you guys to be intentional. Check on your strong friends. Again, I want to thank you for um, helping me with this channel and helping it grow. And it's growing. And as you see, it's becoming different for me. And again, I want to start doing giveaways. I want to start doing interviews. I want to start going live. I want to start going live with you guys. And now that my subscriptions are in the thousands, yeah, I said thousands, and I'm not tooting my horn. It's for the grace of God. Really, I've been, listen, like I said, I've been on YouTube for 10 months. I've had this channel for 10 months, and I believe this is my 77th video. So I've been putting in the work. I love you guys. I will be back hopefully very, very soon with some new stories and some new things. Remember, check on your strong friends, and I love you guys. Be intentional, stay intentional. Until next time.